The next session that you're about to see is with a client named Barb, who comes with a couple of different issues that she wants to tap on, but most specifically, she has a fear of being loved and difficulty in relationships. And it's quite easy for her to actually identify quite quickly that it comes from her relationship with her dad. So we begin tapping on that issue. And it's great to see Barb resolve the issue quite quickly after a couple of rounds, as she's able to realize that it's not about how she wants him to love her, and that he actually loved her in the best way that he could. And she's able to come to that realization or that point of view with a couple of rounds of tapping, which is great to see. The other aspect of Barb's session that she'll probably learn a lot from is the section where she was told by her father that she was not very good with money. And she's carried this belief with her for quite a while. And she's able to do a couple of rounds of tapping and come to the realization that that was just his idea and his belief, and I think I'm actually okay with money. And she's actually able to laugh about it. And it's great to see her make that shift and that change. So I hope you learn a lot from watching the session. Barb.
Carol.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
So we're going to do some tapping.
Okay.
And we've got lots of different issues that you kind of want to tap on, but I was hoping that maybe we could start with something that you've sort of brought to surface, being very scared to be loved. And we've already kind of identified, at least consciously, maybe where that comes from. Mm-hmm. But maybe you can tell me a little bit more about where you think this fear of being loved has come from, and what that's connected to, or just really briefly what your experience is about being in relationships with men or avoiding relationships with men, if you want to call it that.
Well, I think it stems from my dad, and both my parents probably, but just the sense of how they reacted to me as a little girl, or didn't react to me, is maybe what I'm holding on to, and what I needed to get from them. You know, I needed more that I didn't get. Yeah, more sort of maybe obvious affection and verbal affection, like I love you and that kind of thing, which I don't remember ever hearing.
And EFT, it's really interesting because a lot of times we often focus on a memory of something that did happen and trying to heal from that. But we can also use EFT and apply it to what didn't happen. Even though I didn't get love and attention from dad, I can love and accept myself. Or even though I didn't get these things, which is really important for those who want to get deeper into the layers of EFT. Instead of just focusing on this happened, we can focus instead on what didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So like you said, it was maybe more that you didn't get I love you from dad, or you didn't get just general attention or affection. Mm-hmm. Is there any specific scenarios or situations where you remember that happening?
That I did not receive?
Yeah, like I was having my graduation, or I was having a big party and dad wasn't there, and or there was times where I really wanted dad to be there and he wasn't. Or is it just when you say the statement?
Yeah, I don't think I'm right now not getting any memories particularly, but it is more a matter, I think, what's coming to me is sort of they were there, but they weren't present with the enthusiasm that I needed them to have around whatever the situation was. So then I would downplay it and just, oh, well, this is just graduation, you know, whoopee-doo.
Oh, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, where it was a big deal, but it was...
And that's how the mind rationalizes things, right? We rationalize it to make it okay, because my parents aren't making it a big deal, and everyone else seems to be making it a big deal, and their parents seem to be making it a big deal. But if I downplay it, then it sort of justifies why my parents are doing what they're doing. But really underneath that might be, if we had to label an emotion underneath that, it's probably going to be something like hurt or sadness. So is the graduation a good place to start? Do you remember that specifically?
I'm not even remembering. It was university grade. I didn't even want to go. I didn't see the point of going. So again, actually, I think it was sort of, well, you're going because you're graduating. So again, my choice was taken out of the loop. Whether I was rejected, I was not wanting to go because didn't see it as a big deal myself, or whether I was just fighting against them just because I could. I don't know.
How do you feel when you just say the statement, "Dad didn't love me"?
Dad didn't love me.
If you gave me a number on a scale of 1 to 10.
10 being high.
10 being high. 10 being hurt or sadness or...
Yeah, it's we've worked a bit on this, but I think it's still like a 6, 7.
Let's start there, shall we?
All right.
Let's start with karate chop point. Yeah, what's the emotion? Is it sadness?
Yeah, and I'm just getting sort of a flash here that, interestingly enough, I think it's evolving into being angry. And maybe, which is healthy, I think.
That's good. That's healthy. It comes in layers, right?
Yeah.
It's great. You actually feel angry that Dad didn't love me.
Yeah, it's sort of like I'm getting pissed off now.
Give me a number for that.
It's an 8 or a 9. Yeah, it's up there.
Even though I have this anger,
I
think I'm actually kind of pissed off. Dad didn't love me. Regardless of that, maybe I can love and accept myself. Or at least be open to that option. Even though I have this anger, actually I think I'm kind of pissed off about it. Feel free to say it like you mean it.
I'm pissed off about it.
I can love and accept myself anyway. Or at least be open to that option. This anger. Kind of pissed off. Dad didn't love me. This pissed off feeling. Dad didn't love me. This pissed off feeling. Karate chop point. Dad didn't love me. On the top of the head. Maybe I can begin. To let this pissed off feeling go. Deep full breath in. Just say, Dad didn't love me. If you stay with pissed off, kind of angry feeling, give me a number. Or tell me why you're angry.
The number's gone down, but something's telling me that I'm pissed off because I didn't do something about it, which is like, okay.
So you're almost mad at yourself for not doing something about it?
And yet, how could I? I know, hang in with the
feeling. Just give me the feeling.
Pissed off at myself because I didn't. I don't know whether one challenges the whole concept or can.
Just start with, even though I still have some of this pissed off feeling.
Even though I have some of this pissed off feeling.
I can love and accept myself.
Or
at least begin to. Even though I still have some of this pissed off feeling. Not sure if I'm pissed off because Dad didn't love me.
Not sure whether I'm pissed off because Dad didn't love me.
Or maybe I'm pissed off at myself. For not doing something about that. Either way. I'm going to give myself the option. To love and accept myself. Fully and completely. This remaining pissed off feeling. Still pissed off. Remaining pissed off feeling. Remaining pissed off feeling. Kind of mad at myself. Because Dad didn't love me. And I didn't really do anything about it. I still have some of this pissed off feeling. Maybe kind of pissed off at myself. Just keep tapping the back of your hand. We'll do floor to ceiling eye roll. Remaining pissed off feeling. Dad didn't love me. I didn't do anything about it. Looking up, up, up. Remaining pissed off feeling. Top of the head. Maybe I can begin. To let that go. And give myself the option. Of loving and accepting myself anyway. Good. Deep full breath in. And down. And then just say, Dad didn't love me. Give me a number for pissed off at yourself or pissed off about that fact. Are they separate, or are they... It's a bit of a mix.
I think it's still a bit of a mix, but it's gone. It's lower. I want to say I'm sort of resigned to it, but I don't like that word.
You're more neutral about it.
Yeah, it's sort of...
Is there anything left? Even if it's a 1 or a 0?
Yeah, I think there is,
and
and maybe it's just that almost sadness about wasting my time being angry about it.
Years?
Could we have more spirals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Years wasted. Mad at yourself or sad?
I think more sad than mad.
Even though, because usually under anger is hurt and sadness. Yeah. Even though I have this sad feeling. That I've wasted so many years. Staying focused on the fact. That Dad didn't love me. When I could have just. Gone ahead and loved and accepted myself. Fully and completely. Regardless of what my dad was able. To love me or not. All this sadness. Wasted so many years. Trying to get Dad to love me. Wishing that Dad would have loved me. Wishing that Dad would have loved me. So many years wasted. All this sadness. So many years wasted. Deep breath in. Out. Just say I wasted so many years.
Wasted so many years.
Because Dad didn't love me. Give me a number for sadness.
I think we're down. 2, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's changing.
Yeah, stay with it until it gets to a 0, and then we'll let the shift happen to see what else comes under that layer. Even though I still have some of the sadness. Dad didn't love me. And I wasted so many years. Focusing on that. Letting it run my life. Regardless of that. I'm going to be open. To loving and accepting myself anyway. Fully and completely. This remaining sadness. I wasted so many years. Wishing Dad would love me. This remaining sadness. I wasted so many years. Wishing Dad would have loved me. This remaining sadness. I wasted so many years. Wishing Dad would have loved me. The way I wanted him to love me. Instead of the way that he was able to love me. Back of the hand. Floor to ceiling eye roll. Just starting at the floor. Yeah. This remaining sadness. Wasted so many years. Wishing Dad would have loved me. Not moving the head, just the eyes. This remaining sadness. Maybe I can let it go. Deep full breath in. Out. And then check in with sadness. So I have all the sadness. I wasted so many years wishing Dad would have loved me the way I wanted him to love me. That was a bit of a different... I can see that kind of stood out for you when it was like,
because that's where I was going to go next round, was the fact that it's I'm still probably would question that he loved me, but it would really because of what I sort of wanted.
Yes.
Like he couldn't give me it the way I wanted to have it shown.
Yes.
So you immediately go to doing everything you possibly can to have something show up. That is some kind of response to that equals affection / whatever.
Yes.
And that's carried over into almost everything.
Yay. Let's talk about that. Is it a 0 when you think about I've wasted so many years?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think's carried over into every other aspect of your...
Well, I think in relationships, men, women, whatever, there's still a need to have their approval by doing things the correct way, whatever that means. And it may
So you're worried that they won't accept you?
Yeah, that if I say no or if I argue, I hate arguing with people. So if you get into a confrontational kind of thing, I'm going to probably back down and just sort of agree and let it go, or get really, really angry and shut down, which I know I do, or have done. I don't do it much anymore, I don't think. Which then leaves there no ability to resolve anything. You just, okay, I'm leaving. And you either physically leave or I just emotionally leave.
Shut off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me an example of sort of keeping yourself emotionally distant from somebody because you had a fear of being judged by them, or fear of being rejected? Is that a bit more accurate?
Yeah.
Because if you don't do things the correct way, then they won't accept you.
Yeah, I was visiting a friend in Scotland a few years ago, and I think this really, really showed up for me this time because I was probably, without knowing it, in the process of realizing this stuff and trying to deal with it, as opposed to just carrying on the same way I carried on. And she was, my words, she was demanding, and not actually demanding, but that's the way it felt. That I get out and do things. She was working. I was sitting in the living room. This is in Scotland. I should be out doing something.
Yes.
And I didn't want
doing touristy things, and
not necessarily, but just go for a walk down to the stores and come back and do whatever. And what did you do today? Well, I sat here. Well, that's not productive. And that would be a dad button probably in terms of you must make your life productive. And she just got really, really. And I wasn't doing things the correct way, and so we haven't spoken since. That was 3 years ago.
Can you?
Very productive.
That's not productive either.
No.
Can you give me a number when you think of that? What's her name?
Pamela.
Even though I didn't do things the way Pamela wanted me to do them.
Even though I didn't do things the way Pamela wanted me to do them, there's not an. I think I've disconnected from that. I really do. I mean, I can talk about it, and there's really no emotion tied to it at all.
If there was an emotion that you could imagine that would be tied to it, what would the emotion be? How did you feel initially?
Well, then it would have been, because it's different now.
Yeah.
But then it would have been anger. I got to do this in stages because this was a visit where I actually recognized all of this was happening. In previous visits, I would have just, okay, let's just go and do that and not had any sort of reaction to anything, let her sort of control the whole of everything. And that was fine. I was fine with that. This is obviously a visit where Barb needed to have her own sort of element of control. And so I just got angry as opposed to, well, okay, fine, let's just move on.
Let's just do what she wants to do.
Yeah, and right now I'm feeling just frustration that she can't see that it's okay if I do what I need to do or not to do.
So Pamela couldn't see your point of view.
We never got there in a conversation.
What's the frustration about?
That maybe we never got there in a conversation.
Let's just say, even though I have all this frustration with Pamela, I can love and accept myself.
I can love and accept myself.
Fully and completely. Even though I had all that frustration with Pamela, I can love and accept myself. Even though I had all this frustration with Pamela, I can love and accept myself. Fully and completely. This frustration with Pamela. 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 So frustrated with her. We never got to that point in the conversation.
We never got to that point in any conversation.
She just wanted to control the situation.
She just wants to control the situation.
And I didn't want to be controlled.
I didn't want to be controlled.
I did not want to be controlled.
I did not want to be controlled.
Stop telling me what to do.
Stop telling me what to do. This is classic.
Okay, we'll do a full gamut point procedure. So we're going to close. We're going to open, look down hard to the right, look down hard to the left, make the biggest circle you can find with the eyes, and then the other direction. Good, we're going to hum Happy Birthday together. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All this frustration with Pamela.
All this frustration with Pamela.
She's trying to control me.
Trying to control me.
I don't want her to do that.
I don't want her to do that.
Stop trying to control me.
Stop trying to control me.
All this frustration with Pamela.
All this frustration with Pamela.
Stop trying to control me.
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 The stop trying to control me feeling.
The stop trying to control me feeling. This is big.
Deep full breath in. Oh, what's up?
Because that actually goes into absolutely everything.
Everything.
It's
because has there been other situations or scenarios where you do not like people?
When I had my my breakdown 15 years ago or whatever, one of the main things that came up for me through that was stop telling me what to do. Mm-hmm. And I think that probably my frustration with Dad in the last recent years, and even with Mom, was the continually...
Because they've passed away now?
Yes.
They've both passed away?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad.
That Dad finally got to a point where he, I think, realized that it wasn't so much telling me what to do, but he could come at it from a different angle, where there might be a conversation which would ensue that would enable a decision to be made about something. I'm not thinking of anything at the minute, but that classically through, I think, my teens and all the rest of it was, okay, Barb, you have to do this. This is how you have to do it. And heaven help if I objected to that and wanted to do it my own way or not at all.
Can you go back to the Pamela situation just for a moment?
Sure. And
just think about her telling you what to do, and then scale that for me, because when we get that to 0, we'll go back to your earliest memory of someone trying to control you or what comes up for you when.
I think it's a 0 now. I think I've let go of it. The fact that I'm even fascinated that it even came up. I'm not sure where that came from.
But what comes up when someone tells you what to do? Even now, like there's a little girl inside that doesn't like to be told what to do. But what comes up for you when you're in a place or an experience and someone tells you what to do and you don't want to do it that way? What's the emotion that comes up?
It's partly about the control thing. Or would you say they're sort of the same, being told what to do, and I feel like I'm being controlled by...
You don't like people trying to control you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But your question about the emotion, either one.
Is it anger or is it...
See, I'm shifting very, very quickly in the last... excuse me, even the last year. So I'm not sure that I have any thoughts or feelings about it right now. I would say, is it frustration? Is it anger? It's probably, most things go back to anger, don't they?
Yeah. Because you were really angry that Pamela wanted you to do certain things that you didn't want to do.
Yeah, and the situations where she got upset about me not doing something, and I was unaware that there was some sort of rule that I was supposed to be doing certain things.
Sometimes underneath that, people are telling me what to do, and I don't want to be controlled, I don't want to be told what to do. Underneath that is sometimes a feeling of, what, am I not capable of making my own decisions?
Yeah.
Which I think for you is like what you mentioned with your dad before, at another time, was that you were told your whole life that you weren't able to make good choices or decisions. So that sometimes goes hand in hand. Do you see what I'm...
Yes, and if we lighten back just momentarily to the money conversation we had before, that really is probably bottom line what that's about.
Because you were told that you weren't able, by your dad and your brother, that you weren't good with money.
My dad especially, not Andy necessarily. Yeah. It was just, seemed to be an assumption, but I took that on as when he asked a question.
As truth.
Yes, therefore probably I didn't. But it really is still, I'm still capable of doing whatever I do, and if I make mistakes, then it's sort of my mistakes. Can't you let me learn however I'm going to learn, as opposed to force-feeding the need beforehand. I understand the logic behind it, but I'm trying to stay away from the logic.
How true does it feel when you say, I'm not very good with money?
How true does it feel? It feels fairly true, but I'm desperate to clarify.
Stop trying to analyze and clarify. Just give me how true does it feel?
We should just tap on me trying to clarify.
Even though I have this incessant need to analyze and clarify.
Yeah. It's true, actually. I do. I'm better at that, but...
Just give me a number. How true it feels. I'm not very good with money.
An 8.
Even though it feels really true for me.
It feels very true for me.
That I'm not very good with money.
I'm not very good with money.
Well, I mean, my dad told me that my whole life.
My dad told me that my whole life.
So it must be true.
So it must be true.
Regardless of that.
I
love and accept myself. Fully and completely. I'm going to be open to choosing. The concept or the idea. That maybe I am okay with money. I might even be good with money. This feeling. I'm not good with money. Dad said so. This feeling. I'm not good with money. I'm not very good at making my own decisions. Or my own choices. Better let other people make those choices for me. Back of the hand. Not very good with money. This feeling like I'm not very good with money. Sort of feeling eye roll. This feeling like I'm not very good with money. After all, Dad said so. This feeling like I'm not very good with money. Not very good with money. Dad said so. Not very good with money. Dad said so. Must be that way. He said I wasn't good at making choices. And other decisions. That's probably why I respond the way that I do. When other people try to control me. But maybe I can let that go. Maybe I can choose to let that go. Maybe that was just Dad's idea and belief. It has nothing to do with me. And just say I'm not very good with money. Give me how true that feels for you on a scale of 1 to 10. You said about an 8, like you were pretty sure that was true.
Don't think about it, Barb.
just say the statement and go into how it feels. Because either it'll sound ridiculous, or it'll be like, yeah, that's still true because of this. And give me a number on how true it feels.
3.
Even though I still have some of this feeling. I'm not very good with money. After all, Dad said so. Regardless of that. I'm open to loving and accepting myself anyway. I'm even going to be open. To possibly choosing. The concept and idea. That I am good with money. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That'd be wonderful. This remaining feeling. I'm not very good with money. After all, Dad said so. He told me I wasn't very good with money. This remaining feeling. Like I'm not very good with money. I can see now. That maybe it was just Dad's concept and idea. First side of the thumb. Maybe it had nothing to do with me. Maybe it was just Dad's idea. Maybe he saw it that way. Doesn't mean that I have to see it that way. Maybe I can let that belief go. And instead choose to believe that I am good with money. And then say out loud, I'm not very good with money, Dad said so.
I'm not very good with money, Dad said so. I love you, Dad, but
it's kind of funny, eh? You're like, that's nice.
It's so subtle.
It's so subtle. Are you good with money?
Because I'm average, you know? It's yeah.
Yeah. Good. That's good. Let's go. Now that that's a 0, is there anything else that's underneath that? What's immediately underneath that? Or the feeling that comes up? Is there anything? Otherwise, we're going to go back to, I don't want to be controlled.
That's a good one. Let's go back there.
Yeah, let's go back to that. What's your earliest memory of feeling like someone was trying to control you.
See, this is where I get...
You could go on for an hour.
Actually nothing's coming up. I mean,
okay.
I don't know whether I'm just blocking myself because it's...
Let's just do a general round, and then you'll come up with something. How do you feel when you say, if you imagine someone trying to control you, what do you feel? Don't control me. Like if you imagine...
So like it's visceral, don't go there.
Oh, don't go there. Okay.
Yeah.
Even though I get this don't go there feeling.
Even though I get this I don't go there feeling.
Whenever I think of someone trying to control me.
Whenever I think of someone trying to control me.
I'm going to see.
If
I can love and accept myself anyway.
If I can love and accept myself anyway.
And begin to let go of that feeling. One breath at a time.
One breath at a time.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Don't try to control me.
Don't try and control me.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Don't try to control me.
Don't try and control me.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Not going to let you do it.
Not going to let you do it.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Just don't go there feeling.
Don't go there feeling.
Just don't go there feeling.
Don't go there feeling.
Close. Open. Down hard right. Down hard left. Biggest circle you can find. Gorgeous. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This feeling I get. When I imagine someone trying to control me. Like Pamela. Oh, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Don't tell me what to do. Don't go there.
Don't go there.
How would you say it if you were saying it to Pamela and you can go back and say it to her? Would you say don't go there? Or would you say don't go there? Or is it just in your mind that you say it?
No, I have gotten in someone else's face once and told her not to go there.
Deep full breath in. And just either imagine Pamela or imagine that other situation that's come up for you. I'm still a little there. Just say don't go there.
Don't go there. Not the same intensity behind it, and I had something that came to me and it's gone now, but that's okay. It'll come back. I think I had a sensation that this was connected to something else.
Yes.
Which of course it is. It'll come back to me, whatever it was.
Let's just do this remaining don't go there feeling.
Remaining don't go there feeling.
It's remaining feeling.
It's remaining feeling.
Don't want to be controlled.
Don't want to be controlled.
Remaining feeling.
Remaining feeling.
Don't want to be controlled.
Don't want to be controlled.
Remaining feeling.
Remaining feeling.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
It's remaining feeling.
It's remaining feeling.
Side of the thumb.
Oh.
It's remaining feeling.
It's remaining feeling.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
It's remaining feeling.
It's remaining feeling.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
It's remaining feeling.
It's remaining feeling.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Maybe I can begin to let it go.
Maybe I can begin to let it go.
Deep full breath in. Out. And say don't go there.
Don't go there. It's right here. This little thing that I remembered. When I react this way, or used to react this way to people and situations, is it because, my instant reaction is you're trying to control the situation. What if they're just giving advice? So anything and everything that I hear, it's like, okay, you obviously are trying to control me.
And they might not really be trying to control you. It's just the lens through which you view the world.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that something that you experienced growing up created that lens, and then you continue to view it through the world. And then when someone just genuinely offers advice, your walls go up because you react in a certain way. Whereas someone standing next to you could just take that advice and go, hey, that's a great idea. As opposed to perceiving it like that they're trying to control them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the lens through which you view. It's a reaction within you that happens.
So that's, because it can be really visceral sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this one incident with this friend, I always find it fascinating that it's the simplest thing that just gets right in your face.
Uh-huh.
And it was,
You feel like,
And it wasn't anything huge and major. It was probably just a build-up over years and years. Again, I say I've progressed enough to the point where I'm now willing to get in someone's face and sort of say, listen, you got to stop trying to tell me what to do. And I did that with her. I wasn't that calm.
Was it really them or is it you?
Oh, it's totally me, I'm sure. But she doesn't push my buttons that way anymore, interestingly enough, but she did. So, because she hasn't changed. She still does the same stuff with people. She needs to take care of everybody and make sure everybody does everything okay and right and all that.
And here's the funny part. This is something from Deepak Chopra that I've actually learned, and many other spiritual teachers as well. But often what we don't like within other people, the aspects that we don't like in other people, I don't like this person because they're controlling, is sometimes what we're often not able to see is an aspect actually within ourselves.
Yeah,
you've heard that.
I've heard that, and I still find it a very interesting concept to get a grip on.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the middle of the emotion, you're just going to sort of say, well, it can't possibly be me because they did that.
They did that. And then when we understand on a spiritual level that there's nothing outside of us and that the external world is just reflecting our subconscious mind back to us, that what we don't like about them, that they're controlling, it's actually because you don't like being controlled because you like to be in control. And when someone takes the place of what you normally do, there comes this.
Yeah.
Especially as you're a teacher, right? Or you're a retired teacher. And teachers are used to
controlling the situation,
the environment. Yeah. And it's very subtle, but you're always in control and people always listen. And what Barb says goes, and this is how Barb's going to run the room in the classroom. And then someone else comes along and says, no, Barb, it's going to be this way. Your brain is like, that's not how it works. Barb's in control. And so that's why we react that way. But we're not able to see that what we don't like about other people is actually what we're not able to see within ourselves. Sometimes, not always. Deepak Chopra would say always, and I'm still working on.
So is that, again, as you've said before, simply the lens that I'm looking at it through?
Yeah.
So the fact that I have situations now where I would have said 2 years ago that was I would have reacted in a controlling kind of
right, because if you weren't controlling yourself, you would have been like, okay, sure, whatever you need to do, let's do that.
So the fact that it doesn't happen maybe as much anymore, something has shifted for me in terms of, hey, it's just a situation as opposed as a controlling thing.
And you can ask yourself, what is it about them that causes them to be that way? And then be in a place of compassion for them. Because they might not see that they could be causing their own suffering by trying to control everything and everybody.
Yeah, I had a situation a while ago with my friend Clark, who I've talked about, and we were having supper, and somebody came up, the waitress, I guess, and said something to the effect of, are you finished or do you want? And I started to answer, and Clark looked at me, and I said, oh, I'll speak for myself. I'm finished. And we laughed about it. But it was...
just creating that awareness.
But it was the equal balance of the situation with him and I. It was just, he didn't smack me or anything or do anything. And he just looked at me and I said, oh yeah, I'm not here by myself. Okay. So I think that's what I'm starting to recognize anyway, that there can be an equal balance of it. It doesn't have to be about control. And if it still feels that way, then, as you've said, maybe there's something more happening for them.
Yes, maybe there's something
I just happened to be in the room.
Yeah, it's probably got nothing to do with you. Right? Like your reaction is 100% you, but the way that they're being...
So the tapping we've done can help dissipate that reaction.
Yeah. So go back to the don't go there feeling that you get. Like if you can imagine a scenario or situation, maybe going back to Patricia from Scotland. Pamela, sorry.
It's okay.
And her saying, come on, Barb, you should be out walking. And you respond with that, don't go there.
The thing that, I'm not getting a reaction.
Nothing, zero.
No. But the interesting thing about all of that was that I didn't know that she was having this reaction until I called her about something a week or so later, and then she told me on the phone that this was her response to the visit. Mm-hmm. And then, in that kind of situation, I went into this panic of, And I said to her, I said, okay, so this relationship is going to be over because you didn't like the way I responded in situations. And she didn't really say anything, but we haven't really spoken since. I send her a Christmas card or something, but she doesn't call me, and I don't call her. And interestingly enough, the person who was calling more in the relationship anyway was me. When I look back over it, I'm not losing any sleep. I'm not or anything about that relationship. It's maybe run its course. So I'm not having any overwhelming feelings, but at that minute, I was in a very interesting, for lack of a better word, place in terms of
what was the feeling at that point when you were
when she told me on the phone? Real sad. Again, gut wrenching sort of. Okay, I suppose if I was really, really visceral, I've screwed up.
Oh, you're mad at yourself for screwing up.
So I went back to the I've done something wrong.
Even though I did something wrong.
I did something wrong.
To screw up that relationship with Pamela. I can love and accept myself. Fully and completely. I have a bit of sadness about it. Regardless of that. I'm going to be open. To maybe letting that go. I screwed up. That relationship with Pamela. Didn't react the right way. Didn't do the right thing. Didn't say the right thing. And I screwed up the whole relationship. It's all Barb's fault. But maybe Barb can let that go. Deep full breath in. And go back to the feeling that you had on the phone as she told you how she felt about your visit. And at that time, you felt that you had screwed up the relationship. Give me a number, or is it a 0?
No, it's gone. And I think it was gone. It was obviously very healthy to go back and look at that because, but I think I've let go of it already. Now I haven't had any contact with her, so who knows if there was a phone call where I'd be with it. But I guess you just trust that if you've let go, you've let go, and it just yeah.
Which again, what's your earliest? I want to go back and do a little more childhood stuff on not wanting to be controlled.
I don't know that I'm not getting any memories. It's more a matter of when I started to react to the feeling of being controlled, which is sort of what you're after,
yes.
Right? Nothing when I was little, but I don't have very many memories when I was little anyway.
Was it mom or dad more so?
Would be more. Probably memories would probably be more mom because she was home and she was, dad was working. So I'm not getting anything. Okay. But I think anything that would have come up would have been, even in high school. I don't remember what the situation was exactly. I remember coming home and sort of saying, I was in grade 11 or 12 or something. No, what grade was I in? I was in 12. Something to the effect that I was going to stay at school later and do such and such, and I'd get home somehow. And Mom just, no, you're not doing that. This is what you have to do. You have to come home at a certain time, and you have to get home.
What was the feeling? Don't tell me what to do. I don't like what.
Well, I'm not sure. It was. I don't know that I had a reaction but it was more like I was startled at the strength of her reaction to the fact that I suppose, was trying to be a little independent. And it was sort of like, no. Again, don't analyze Barb, but I understood where she was going with it because of safety and all that kind of thing. But it was just, I was a little startled at her intensity of the reaction to me sort of saying, I want to stay, and I don't remember the situation exactly, but it was very clear that was not going to happen. And
how did you feel? You can give me one word in response, just the emotion. Mom's not letting you do what you want to do. What was the emotion?
I can't put one to it. I don't know what it is. Am I blocked?
Because you think about it a lot. You can think about it and talk about it.
I haven't thought about that in ages.
Were you angry at her for not letting her?
Probably. But I wouldn't be allowed to demonstrate that, you see. You weren't allowed to have emotions. That's a big one. Let's tap on that one.
You weren't allowed to have emotions or show reaction to things.
Sure. Yeah.
That might be why EFT is a little more challenging for you, because we can talk about and analyze and rationalize, but to actually let the emotion come up and be there is something that your brain isn't used to doing.
No, and
Even though I wasn't allowed to have emotions when I was younger.
I wasn't allowed to have emotions when I was younger.
Parents wouldn't accept that.
Parents wouldn't accept that.
Wasn't allowed. And now it's really hard for me. To just feel emotions and let them be there.
Feel emotions and let them be there.
Sometimes I repress them instead.
Who
knows what I do with them?
Who knows what I do with them?
Sometimes I rationalize.
To
make things okay. Regardless of that. I love and accept myself. Fully and completely. I love and accept all the emotions.
Say it again, sorry.
I love and accept all the emotions. And I'm going to allow them to be there. Just as they may. So hard to feel emotions. Wasn't allowed to. Mom and Dad wouldn't let that. Mom and Dad wouldn't allow. The expression of emotions. Absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable. Side of the thumb. Not acceptable. Show any emotions. Not acceptable. Show any emotions. Not acceptable. At least to them it wasn't. That doesn't mean that I can't now. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Maybe I can begin to feel, show, and express any emotions that come up. Maybe I can begin to feel, show, and express any emotions that come up. Any emotions that are still under there. All the horrible things that happened when I was little. All those emotions that are still under there. I can give them permission. Eek. And that look in your eyes. To maybe come up and out. A little bit at a time. So that I can process them. Deep full breath in. Is there fear of feeling emotions? Because you had that.
Did I?
There was an eye movement that was like, if I could let them come up and out.
Probably.
How does it, even the idea of feeling emotions, how does that?
I'm okay with it. I think any other time I would be fear that there would be.
What would happen when you were younger, when you would show them or express them? If you did.
Quickly leave the room so that I wouldn't, be
what? Get in trouble?
Yeah.
Even though I had to leave the room when I was little.
Because
I'd get in trouble. If they saw me upset. Or angry or crying. Or anything else.
Yeah. Anything else.
Was not allowed to show those emotions. I can accept those emotions now. I can accept myself. Every little bit. This remaining feeling. I had to hide. If I had to express emotions. I had to go to my room. Wasn't okay. To show them in front of Mom or Dad. Not acceptable. This remaining feeling. Like it's not acceptable. To show emotions. I'd have to run and hide. In my room. I might get in trouble. If I show emotions. I might get in trouble. If I show emotions. Close. Open. Down hard right. Down hard left. Biggest circle you can find. Other way. Good.
I feel so weird.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might get in trouble if I show emotions.
Trouble if I show emotions.
Might get in trouble if I show them.
If I show them, I might get in trouble.
I might get in trouble.
I might get in trouble.
I'll just go to my room instead.
I'll just go to my room instead.
Mom and Dad would get mad.
Mom and Dad would get mad.
Or at least I'd get in trouble.
Or at least I'd get in
If
trouble.
I show any of those
If I
emotions.
show any of those emotions.
But maybe it's safe to show them now.
Maybe it's safe to show them now.
Maybe it's safe to express them now.
Maybe it's safe to express them now.
Just say it's not okay to show emotions.
It's not okay to show emotions.
I had to go to my room when I was little.
I had to go to my room when I was little. Yeah, it's fine.
What's your next thought?
There might be, well, I was just thinking that I didn't follow up my thought before because showing emotion, I think, historically was so scary for me because I figured all hell would break loose.
Just stay there. Even though I had this underlying fear.
I have this underlying fear
of showing emotions.
Of showing emotions.
All hell's going to break loose if I do.
Because all hell's going to break loose if I do.
I can love and accept myself anyway.
I can love and accept myself anyway.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
Inner part of the eyebrow. All hell's going to break loose.
All hell's going to break loose.
Better hold it in.
Better hold it in.
Is that true? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
All hell's going to break loose.
All hell's going to break loose.
Can't show emotions.
Can't show emotions.
All hell's going to break loose.
All hell's going to break loose.
This feeling of underlying fear that I have.
Of underlying fear that I have.
Of what it would be like to show emotions.
What it would be like to show emotions.
I'm kind of afraid.
I'm kind of afraid.
That all hell would break loose if I did.
All hell would break loose.
This fear.
This fear.
All hell's going to break loose.
All hell's going to break loose.
If I show those emotions.
If I show those emotions.
Deep full breath in. That was that one round that we were tapping, and I was like, maybe I can let these emotions come up and out, and there was this, well, I don't know about that. It's that fear of what's going to happen if I do that. Do you know what I mean? That
Did you see that in this round?
I saw that, no, in 2 rounds.
Before.
Yeah, 2 rounds before. It was like, eek, don't make me do that. Don't make me do that.
But it really is, it's about me sort of confronting myself, and that's okay, because it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
I had another thought, it's gone again. Could we tap on my thoughts disappearing so quickly?
You can tap on anything. You can tap on, even though I can't remember where my keys are. Where are my keys? I can't remember where I put my keys. And just relax and take a deep breath at the end of the round, and you'll probably remember where your keys are. Yeah. Initially, you had come with fear of rejection or fear of getting into a relationship with a man. If we go back to that subject, to that topic, when you think about a pattern that you've had, is there any pattern that you've had in relationships with men?
Any man of significant... There's a space of time where I went out with men, they were married men. And
Can you give me can you give me an idea? Was it 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Oh, they were about the same age as me. It was...
No, I mean like that gap of your life.
Was
it... How many years of your life were you kind of in that pattern of only being in romantic relationships with men that were already married to someone else?
Well, it started when I started teaching, so that's a good 15 years at least, I would say.
How many different relationships? If you had to guess? Just give me an idea.
3.
How long did each of them last? A couple of years? A couple of months?
Very, very first one was very short-lived, and then the next one was a few years. And the next one was sort of on and off, just because we weren't in the same city.
How do you feel about yourself, emotion-wise, when you think about doing that or that pattern in your life or that part of that period of your life? Is there any emotion attached to it? Like guilt or remorse or anger or sadness?
Probably all of the above.
Even though I have this guilt and this remorse and this sadness and this anger, we try to do them one at a time. What's the most powerful one? The most significant one that stands out?
Remorse is coming to me, I think.
Give me a number for remorse.
I'm probably an 8. Remorse to me, like, it was a waste. I'm not even sure there was any learning curve in the whole thing.
In the process.
There is for me now, because, you know, once I sort of broke
the pattern. Even though I have all this remorse about being in those relationships. Those married men. Didn't even learn anything from it. I can love and accept myself anyway. I can be open to choosing. To forgive myself. For being in those relationships.
Something's coming up. Can we interrupt?
No, wait till we finish our act.
It might not be there, Carol.
Hang on to it. This remorse. What a waste of time. Didn't even learn anything. This remorse. But all those relationships. Those married men. This remorse. But all those relationships. Those married men. I can be open. To forgiving myself. And letting that remorse go. You can't wait to tell me.
It just came to me that even if I feel guilty, remorse, or angry or whatever, the whole thing just added on to the layers of not feeling good about myself, because I had put myself in a relationship that wasn't healthy, and that just made me feel, probably at the time, even worse about myself.
So you were letting it happen.
So you have this cycle of stuff happening.
And you feel worse about yourself, and then you get into another relationship with another married man because even though I don't feel very good about myself. Well, we could tap on it, I suppose. I think it was just a sort of a little light bulb that came off. That the whole thing was just. And that's the thing with EFT. With EFT, we can't really do the even though I don't feel really good about myself forest, right? Because there's a lot of different layers to that, a lot of different aspects to that. And for you, like I said, there's probably a lot of different trees. We need to focus on them, cut them down, focus on them, cut them down, focus on them, cut them down. As opposed to just trying to get rid of the I don't feel good about myself forest.
Yeah, no, it was just that came up to me, because I agree with you. I think that's just one little aspect at that stage in my life.
So, and we're gonna work on that to heal that aspect. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And stay focused on that. And then we'll find another aspect that made us not feel good about ourselves, and then we're going to heal that aspect.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, logical.
So go back to remorse. To say, I was in relationships with 3 married men.
I was in relationships with 3 married men.
Because there was guilt, there was remorse, there was anger.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that I'm still holding on to. At the time there was. I don't suppose it just goes away because it...
No, and I'm trying to get you to access that. Yeah. Why did you feel remorse about it?
Remorse in terms of being just such a waste of time. Like I wasted those years on people that were not going to...
How do you feel when you say I wasted those years with people that were never going to commit to me?
Don't know. This is my main problem with EFT, because I can't access the emotion. Or we tapped on that already, didn't we?
Didn't we tap on that?
Yeah, I'm not getting any gut
because remorse was an 8. The first round we did, you said, if I think about it, if you think about it, how true does it feel? But
like this instant
right now.
Do I feel any remorse about?
Yes.
I don't think so. See, I have difficulty deciding whether I'm feeling something or whether I'm intellectualizing something.
Yeah, because I think what you do instead of, I don't want to feel that negative emotion, so I'll just rationalize it to make it okay. I did what I did. Oh, because before we even tapped on the round, you were like, well, Carol, this is why I did what I did. You couldn't wait to tell me that you did what you did. Mm-hmm. Because you didn't feel good about yourself. I just had this light bulb moment. I didn't feel good about myself, Carol. That's why I did what I did. It's rationalizing it to make the behavior okay, as opposed to feeling the pain of, God, I wish I didn't have done that, and the anger at yourself, and the sadness, and because it's like you avoid that at all costs, and rationalize, this is why I did what I did. And it's a pattern, and it's a habit, and it's a...
Yeah.
But sometimes you break through that. Sometimes you can let that be there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not pleasant to let it be there.
No, because I get too good at compartmentalizing and rationalizing everything and intellectualizing everything.
Yeah.
And without just the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here?
Well, we'll take a break and maybe we'll come back.
Okay.
Okay.